want to welcome you all on this cold January day. It's so great to be able to be together again. Sorry that we've had to postpone some actual live in-person events, but I think we'll get through this, and in the spring we'll go back to some live performances, and we're looking forward to a summer festival again and all. I want to start by playing just a quick excerpt. Just everybody knows that this is sponsored by the Baroque Orchestra of New Jersey, of which I am the conductor, of which we have several board members here today: Scott Summerer, Doug Anderson, Evan Ardell. So it's good, and emeritus board member Claire Roth. So it's really so good to see everybody and be part of it. So I want to start by playing something. We were able to start a season again for the first time, and it'll be hopefully, even though we've had to change the reschedule our January concert, we are planning to do concerts in April, May, and June, and have another summer festival. So we hope to see you all at those. And maybe moving forward, maybe scheduling concerts in January and February, or maybe we'll just do them in the summer, fall, and spring. Last November, we came back and started. We did an all Baroque concert, which is mostly Baroque concert, which is apropos for a Baroque orchestra, I suppose. So we'd like to play just a short excerpt. We did a suite. Everybody knows the Baroque composers like Bach, and they have, Handel and Vivaldi, but actually one of the most prolific and successful composers during the early 18th century, during the Baroque period, was Georg Philipp Telemann. So let's start with a movement from Telemann's suite, Don Quixote, as we played in November. Hopefully you were excited to hear some Telemann, and that music is exciting, brings us in the mood, gets us all ready for the day. So I'd like to start by introducing some people that we've been associating with, collaborating with, and the theme of today's show is, well, two themes actually, is looking back on what we did in 2021 and looking forward as a way of looking forward to the future, and also talk about the importance of collaboration. One of the most important collaborations that we started about 3 years ago was with a group called Keys to Success, and we have two important representatives of Keys to Success here. So I'd like them to just say hello, and then I'll play a little bit of music, and we'll talk more with them.
Hi.
So I think somebody's phone just went off here. So I'd like to introduce you to Patricio. And I'm sorry, Patricio, how do you pronounce your last name?
Apayes.
Apayes,
Yeah.
who is here from Mexico
You sent me,
today, and Jihun Kriska, who is president
hold on
and
a second,
founder of Keys to Success.
20 minutes
So,
ago,
will you just
the Baroque Orchestra of New Jersey, and
somebody
because I'm on
turn
it,
your
and
mic
you're
off?
not there.
I'm gonna
Got it.
mute everybody.
He's on the telephone.
So when you talk, please unmute yourself. Introduce yourself, Patricio and Jihun, and then we'll play one excerpt from last summer, and then you can talk a little bit more about the collaboration. But first, tell everybody who you are.
Hi, everybody. So I'll go first. I'll talk for a couple of minutes, and then I'll have Patricio talk. So I'm founder, executive director of Keys to Success. And actually, this actually goes way back, a little bit more than just 3 years. And it has to do with Bob and who Bob is. Just adventurous, creative, very, very brave. So I actually met Bob in 2013, I believe. He was giving a masterclass on Beethoven. I had played piano all my life, but I had stopped in 2001. And 2013 was when I picked it up again. And that was actually one of the first concerts I had done. And I was, not feeling that confident. I wasn't as good as I used to be. But Bob was very kind. And he before he left, he actually, shook my hand and said, "Wow, that was really good. Well done." And, Bob, you don't know this, but it meant a lot to me. It really gave me courage to keep going and play again. And then the following year, when I was invited to perform with the Boston Pops to play the Mozart 2 piano concerto, I thought about what you said, and I thought, well, you know what? If Bob thought I was okay, I can say yes. So Bob is a landmark maker. He breaks through preconceived notions and does things nobody else has the courage to do. The next time Bob and I came into contact was 2016 or so, maybe 2017. And I asked him about maybe considering working without kids. And that was not Bob was not the first professional musician I had asked. And most of the time, the response would be, "Yeah, sure. I have a concert coming up. I'll give you some free tickets. You can sit in the audience," which is very nice and very generous. But Bob invited us on stage to perform with him, not knowing exactly how we were going to sound. And that was amazing. That was memorable. It just opened up everybody's minds on our side anyway about what is possible. And then 2020, Bob took the next step. He composed a piece for a piano ensemble and orchestra, professional orchestra. And that's, I think we all know, Variations on Simple Gifts. But more than that, he didn't just, not just composed it, but he also brought in one of our faculty, Elijah Souls, to work with him and to give him the honor of being a co-composer, not just a contributor. Again, totally unheard of, really. And that really launched Elijah as a composer. And then this year, again, Bob invited us to perform live with the orchestra, playing not just the Variations and Simple Gifts, but also Lift Every Voice and Sing together. So just so many landmarks. And that's just who Bob is, and as a result, who the Baroque Orchestra is. And just so thankful for that. But I actually want Patricio to share a little bit more, just from his perspective, what the collaboration and partnership has been like.
Sure. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, Bob. Hope everybody's doing well. Let me just start by telling you a little bit about myself and my unconventional musical path that led me to meeting with Bob. Um, my name is Patricio Paez, and I'm faculty at Keys to Success since 2019. I hold a master's in piano performance from the Conservatory of Music at Brooklyn College. I was born in Mexico City and always have been fascinated with music growing up. My mom tells me that actually when I was a toddler, I used to beg her to take me to orchestra concerts, and she had to find a venue and orchestra that was child friendly at the time in Mexico. And I'm so glad to see that Bob went even a step further and even had our students perform on stage with them. So that was great to see. A little bit more later on, even though I went through general music classes at my school, I did not start piano until I was 12 years old in Mexico. And eventually, my family and I learned about the music program at Interlochen Arts Academy, which is a boarding school in Michigan. And even though it was a long shot, we decided that I should apply. And to my surprise, I was accepted. So I was 15 and went to the US by myself to pursue my passion. And long story short, I now obtained my master's, achieving my goal, and working with Keys to Success. Since I've been working with them, it's been really great to be able to see myself in the students that we teach in so many ways. Many of them come from immigrant families, different backgrounds, different countries, and also their curiosity and wonder about music and the piano, and as well as the support of the families is something that I can really relate to. Um, the Baroque Orchestra is providing them a great opportunity and once in a lifetime chance, like just what I got, to help them develop their passion for music and their dreams. And also, I'm so very impressed with the BONJ's versatility, their work around involving the community, promotion of musical awareness, and just building these relationships around music that help bring people together. So thank you, Bob, and thank you, everybody, and thanks for having us.
Thank you, Patricio. It was a real pleasure.
Likewise.
Indeed, it's a pleasure to have you here with us. So we did some talking, and Jihun and Patricio talked about the kids and what we did in our collaboration. And as Jihun mentioned, last summer in July, we performed these works with the young artists of Keys to Success and the professional musicians of the Baroque Orchestra. And many of you were at that concert. So that gives a little bit of an idea of what a wonderful, wonderful experience that was. I'd like to introduce our next guest, because that was also part of that same concert and the same summer festival. I've known Lin Che now for about, I guess we met in 2014 or so. So for about 7 years, and we developed an immediate relationship with her group, the New York Classical Music Society. And we've collaborated in many ways, both with Lin as a solo artist and with Lin as the president of the New York Classical Music Society and her artists. And we're going to meet some of her artists in a little while. But before we meet Lin, I'd like to play a little bit of what she performed. She performed some movements from Mozart concertos last summer. She's also played Beethoven concertos with us. She's played some Rachmaninoff with us. But let's listen to a little bit of a Mozart concerto from last summer. And let me see, I've got a chat in here. Oh, Jihoon is just saying that she has to step out, but we'll talk with Patricio later as well, and we'll see more of them. But for now, so a little bit of Lin Che performing Mozart. Wonderful, wonderful performance. And so Lynn, tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are and what you do and where you studied, and say hello and let us know who you are.
My name is Lin Choi, and I'm a Korean American. I came to New York when I was 15 years old to study piano in Juilliard. Since then, I'm just studying here in Juilliard and Manhattan School of Music and Harvard University for the musicology. And I went to many international competition and won some and lose some. And I won Mozart international competition in France, and keyboard artist in New York City, and some more. I don't remember anymore. I mean, it was so long time ago. So. And since then, I've been living in New York and taught at actually State University of California in North. So I taught in California. So I moved to California and lived there for 10 years, and came back to New York again, and went to Korea. Taught at the university in Korea. And now I'm living half in New York and half in Korea, and 1/3 in Europe. So I'm everywhere. And I started the New York Classical Music Society actually from 2004. And I gathered all the classical musicians who has leadership and talent, and or they have their own organization, orchestra, festivals. So we have 55 members, actually 55 artists from all over the world. They are Grammy Award winners. They are professors in all universities all around the world. And the conductors like Bach, and many musicians, very famous one, and very really high-end people. And since I know Bach and the Baroque Orchestra of New Jersey, I really like to reach out because I know so many people in New Jersey who, especially in Morristown area, I mean, they love music. They are very cultivated. They are cultural people, but I know it's very hard to travel to New York City to listen like a high-end level of music in like Lincoln Center or Carnegie. It is not easy because it's very far, and so we talked with Bob that why don't we just bring the artists from New York City and all over the world to New Jersey. So we started doing that since 2014, as Bob mentioned. So many of our artists play with Bob and Barack Bonjay, and it has been a great years, and we love to share music, and the audience is great. They really wants to hear the classical music and enjoy the classical music. They understand the classical music. So it has been a really a pleasure and happy things to share with everybody. So that's that. And since my father passed away and my mother is not well, so I spend a lot of time in Korea now. So, but I mean, I really continue to collaborate with Bob and Baroque Music Orchestra of New Jersey, not only in New Jersey or New York area, but in Europe too. We are planning to do some, concert in Europe with Bob too. So
Can't wait.
yeah.
Really, really looking forward to it. Thank
Me
you, Lynn.
too.
It's such a pleasure to meet you. We have one more guest that we'd like to meet, Franco Morrow. I met Franco, really got to know him this past year, in 2021 when I was in Italy in September, though we met several years ago as well. He's from Padua, so he's joining us today from Padua, Italy. But before we talk and find out who Franco is, I'd like to say that it's been my pleasure to know him as a friend and as a colleague. He was a pianist. It was an excellent job as pianist, rehearsal pianist for the opera that I composed, that we performed together with orchestra and singers on stage at the Teatro Verdi di Padua in September. But I also found out he's a composer, and he played a few of his pieces for me, which are absolutely beautiful. And so I orchestrated one, and we premiered his piece called Stevia Waltz at our November concert this past year. So before we meet Franco, let's listen to some of his music, and let me play a little bit of, I'll play the entire performance of his waltz. was such a pleasure to conduct that fun piece. It's got such a great feeling to it. So Franco, tell us a little bit about who you are, where you've studied, what you've done, and about your approach to performing and composing.
Hi, Robert. Hi, everybody. I apologize for my very basic English. I read the notes for explication. Allora, I'm Franco Morrow, pianist, composer, and arranger. I live in Padua, Veneto region, in a city of arts, about 20 miles from Venice. I remember that Padua is a UNESCO heritage city for frescoes by Giotto and other great artists. I studied piano at the Cesare Pollini Conservatory in Padua. I also have a degree in biology at the University of Padua. The piano, the concert, the activity as an arranger and a composer have been at the center of my life, together with the activity of biologist at the university researcher. The philosopher Nietzsche said, life without music would be a mistake. I think so too. About the composition, my composition, Stevia Waltz, you have an amazing performance, Robert. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You have enhanced the soul of this piece. I really love the waltz in all its expressions. That piece is in operetta style. Remember the word, but without stereotypes. I hope I succeeded. The first 16 bars of the incit are deliberately in opera style, similar to Vincenzo Bellini. In fact, Bellini is one of the authors of the Italian bel canto that I prefer. Furthermore, in these melodies, Bellini often remembers Chopin, another favorite of my author. This, Robert, if you want other notice from this piece, but I enjoy for this execution in the Baroque Orchestra of New Jersey. Very, very, very good. Very good.
Thank you.
Very good. I hope you play many times.
Yeah, so we've already played it again twice. So.
If you say the speaker my approach of composition.
Okay, well let's hold off on that for a few minutes.
Allora, diciamo, come as composer, the inspiration often comes in simple, natural way for me. For example, by listening all kinds of sounds or melodies. Sometimes when I elaborate a melody for a new arrangement, mine or from other authors, it takes a different path in my mind that leads me to compose a completely different and unexpected original piece. I recorded the melodies and the re-elaborated success after in the score, translating the score in the physical score. Mainly I write a piece for piano solo, for trio or string quartet, not for orchestra. For orchestra, Robert, you translate my piece in orchestral version, very, very good. uh, other, if you want argument or question, Robert.
Okay, well, thank you, Franco.
Thank you, everybody.
Great to hear from you.
Sorry for my English.
Hey, you're fine. Sounds fine to me. I'm going to go back to Lynn. We talked about last summer how we did the collaboration for the New York, the Orchestra Summer Festival, and Lynn brought several amazing artists to play. In addition to her own playing, she played movements of Mozart, movements of Saint-Saëns, but she also brought several other artists. And I'd like to play some excerpts, just a brief part of each one of the wonderful, just to give you an idea of the talent, the incredible artistry that is part of the New York Classical Music Society. We have artists, like I said, from all over, as Lynn mentioned, from all over the world who were here to perform with us. We had some performers from Korea. We have a singer from Nigeria, and so many others. So I'd like to introduce you to some of the artists and what it's like to collaborate with the New York Classical Music Society. So I'm going to play about 5 minutes, a little bit of each of these great artists that we were fortunate enough to play with last summer. And then we'll talk some more with Lynn about the New York Classical Music Society and about her music. So Lynn, tell us more about what you've been up to and what you have planned for the future. I know you have a concert actually next week in New York, correct?
Yes, but it's postponed to next month
Uh-huh.
because of the
Yeah,
too
because of the
many
situation.
Omicrons or something like that. But actually, in New York City, nothing really haven't changed much. Just we need a vaccination certification to get into the restaurant. That's all. That's all. But people are afraid to infected, so all the concerts are canceling or postponed now. So my concert is postponed, but I think our Europe concert is still on, which is in June in Paris, and our Italian concert in Geneva is also canceled. So we don't know when, but Paris is on. And actually, next 2022 winter, we are going to have a concert in Hawaii, if it's allowed. So as you see, the Robert Fang, the bass, he lives in Hawaii, as you know. So he's doing a lot of work for that concert can be possible. Yes.
So what else do you have planned? What are you working on right now musically?
Oh, well, nowadays I'm so into ensemble and instead of solo work. So I was going to ask the Franco to maybe he can arrange that waltz to like 4 hands. Then maybe we can play in some other places. Franco, can you do that? We love your waltz so much.
Posso provare. I can prove. I can try.
Yes, please, because we love your waltz so much. We want to play maybe because you are a pianist. You can do it for the arrange to 4 hands. Then
yes. Oh, man.
Maybe I can play with you and go to Padua sometime and play with you too.
Okay. Aline, congratulations for your Mozart. I appreciate many, the purity of melodic line. Very good.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. It's everything you do, Lynn, is so great. It's been such a pleasure to work with you these past few years. And as I think everybody could hear, the artists who associate with the New York Classical Music Society are all really top of the line artists. And they come from everywhere, the opera singers, the pianists, string players, and composers. So it's just been a marvelous relationship. I want to go back and talk with Franco a little bit more. Franco and I worked together, collaborated in September, as I mentioned. I premiered an opera for which I composed the music. It's called Vita Senza Tempo. And the lyrics were by Padua playwright Vincenzo Faggiano. And I relied so much on Franco. I couldn't have done it without Franco's help. Franco worked with the singers, learning the music before I got there. And then when I arrived, Franco was the rehearsal pianist with the singers. And then he was the rehearsal pianist with the orchestra. And then he played, and I mean, the piano part, the orchestra is a small orchestra, but the piano part is very important to the success of the performance. It was an exciting, exhilarating experience to be conducting my work at the Teatro Verdi in Padua. and to be working so closely with such a wonderful artist as Franco Morrow. So before Franco talks about what it's like to collaborate and premiere new works by other composers, and to wear several hats, the hat of the vocal rehearsalist, the combined vocal rehearsalist, the orchestra rehearsalist, and a musician member of the orchestra. So I'd like to play a few minutes from that performance of Vitae Senza Tempo from last September. It's just excerpts, so that it's a little bit of different singers and a little bit of different parts, but it can give you an idea of what we performed together in this absolutely magnificent theater. What is it like to play the different roles, to sometimes be the vocal, basically teaching the singers the parts, then to being the rehearsal pianist and being part of the actual orchestra?
Yes, Robert, this is an exciting experience for me. For this beautiful opera, Vite senza tempo. This opera inaugurated the resumption of artistic activities of Teatro Stabile del Veneto. This is very important for the pandemic period. I had the opportunity to rehearse with every single singer and taking care of all of the interpretative aspects of your music, Robert. philological aspect of the lyrics and diction. It's very expansive work. Many thanks, Robert, for your supervision during the rehearsals with the orchestra to verify and refine the work done in rehearsals with a single singer. In my opinion, sorry for diction, rehearsing with the singers accompanying them and also being part of the orchestra was the best way to proceed in the preparation of this opera. As a pianist, sometimes I play piano as a soloist. In other contexts, accompanying lyrical or modern singers. Robert helped me to be a member for the orchestra in the theatrical performance, and this is unusual for a pianist in the lyric opera. I appreciate it very, very much. I believe for the first time, I believe that for the first time, a lyric opera with music of an American contemporary author has been performed in Italy. It's very important. Your music, I believe your music are the performed in Italy the first time in the lyric opera, in lyric theater.
Well, thank you, Franco. It was such a pleasure to work with you, with Vincenzo, with all the wonderful singers and artists that were there. I want to just return, play one more excerpt. Patricio has been sitting here patiently for a while. We mentioned, I want to just play one more thing by Keys to Success. Then I'll make a couple announcements and ask everybody to say any final words. But Jihoon and Patricio mentioned working with Elijah and the other singers. And we did, in addition to doing the variations on Simple Gifts, we also played an arrangement by several people, including Elijah and others, of a piece called Lift Every Voice. So I just want to play a little bit of that performance, and then we'll say a few final words. incredible experience, I think, for all of us to have been able to perform that work and do that. So I do want to, before we have some final words, I want to share a few things and talk a little bit, because what's important is that we stay together. We share the music, we share our lives, we share everything that we do as much as we possibly can. And we continue, and we say to everybody that we want to be together. We want to see you at our concerts. We want to see you online. We want to share our lives and our everything. Some of this show is sponsored by and by several wonderful artists and organizations. We want to encourage everybody to participate, to shop locally, to stay safe, to stay warm on these cold winter days, but to also be part of the community, to reach out. So to that end, I would like to share a few of the some of the groups that have helped us do so much in the past year. In the town of Madison, as you know, we are in the town of Madison, so we do a lot of those performances. We're at the Madison Community Arts Center here in Madison, which is a new facility and has opened the doors for us and for the community. Madison Arts and Cultural Alliance, the Madison Downtown Development Commission are both groups that are very important and significant for keeping the arts alive, for keeping music alive, and for support of the community. Some of the places in Madison that we hang out at, that we support and help us, are Madison Bagel Cafe, Salvatore Minardi's Salon, which many of you were there and noticed that we started our salon concerts at the salon in December. Shanghai Jazz, for some of the greatest jazz in the world. Romanelli's, where we hang out, where we go many times and are very helpful, supportive of the orchestra. Evan Ardell Financial Services, which is a big supporter. Sound Ledgers, Andrew Massini's company. But mostly everything we do is because of you and listeners like you. We need your help. And so what we'd like, if you can help in any way to support us, you can support us online. Just go visiting baroqueorchestra.org, BAROQUE. You can visit online. You can make a donation. Anything helps. If you've enjoyed the show, you've enjoyed our concerts, $10, $20, $100, whatever you can afford, everything is a big help. Also, we have a newsletter if you want to stay on top of what's happening. Many of you already get the newsletter. If you email me at boblute@aol.com, I will immediately put you on our newsletter subscriber list. We send out 1 or 2 newsletters a week. They're filled with information, upcoming concerts, upcoming shows like this, information on our artists, information on what Lin Che is doing, what Franco is doing, what Patricio is doing. I see many of our artists are here that are part of the orchestra, and we're part of these special concerts. Evan Ardell, Peter Howard, Wei Wang, we're all in the orchestra for those special concerts. I'd like the board members to please raise your hands so people can know if you want to be in touch with Joanne Bates is our president, Evan Ardell, Doug Anderson, it's such a, and J. Scott Summerer. Please stay in touch and stay part of us. So I'd like to now let Patricio, Lynn, and Franco say a few words, well, final things that they'd like to say to everybody. Patricio.
Sure. Thanks again. Glad to see all the work that you are doing with all these great artists and musicians around the world, really. So, and so glad that we're being able to collaborate with our students and your ensemble, and look forward to other projects like that. If people would like to find out more about Keys to Success and what we do, I'm gonna post our information, Maya and Jihoon's, So you can reach out, look at our website, and stay in touch as well. So let me just share that in the chat, and likewise, glad to meet everybody, and thanks for having us, Bob.
Well,
It's a
it's been
pleasure.
our pleasure. Franco, do you have any final words that you'd like to say to everybody?
Okay, Robert. I speak about the emotion from perform the new music, Vite senza tempo, but also your beautiful song for guitar and piano, piece for guitar and piano. It's really a great emotion to play new music. It's like an explorer going through a new land, a new territory. You feel a great excitement and curiosity for great emotion. It can inspire you, but also fear or not being able to interpret the idea that author wrote on the score. This is my opinion. But is very also, as a composer, I realized that it's impossible to write on the score everything that I have conceived. In my opinion, it's also important playing or our own piece on the piano, for example, in order to give to performance a first interpretative guideline. This is an interesting discussion could be open now. Where does the interpreter finishes and the composer begins? I give the open question, on this argument. First of all, I want to thank their friend Maestro Robert W. Batz for inviting me in this show. It was a great pleasure and honor to participate and meet two great musicians like Lynn and Jay. The focus and the themes were very interesting and engaging. I finished with open all Happy New Year and a good music to everybody, and look forward to see you soon.
And we look forward to seeing you soon too, Franco, very, very, very much. In fact, the piece that he mentioned for guitar and piano, which Franco premiered in Rome last summer with Stanley Alexandrovich, who is another member of the New York Classical Music Society. And the piece I originally composed at the request of its president, Lynn Che. So to close, I'd like to say, Lynn, do you have anything that you would like to say?
No, I just want to say Happy New Year and thank you so much for continuous support to classical music and supporting Baroque Orchestra of New Jersey and New York Classical Music Society. If you want to know about New York Classical Music Society more, then just visit nyclassicalmusicsociety.com. So please visit and continue support, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you all for joining us today. We ran a little bit longer than usual, so I thank you for sticking with us and staying here. It's such a pleasure to see everybody. I can't wait to see you in person and to be talking together and with Patricio and Franco and Lynn and everybody else to be making music together and sharing our lives and our time. I wish you all a happy New Year. Stay safe, stay careful, and stay warm here in New Jersey. I don't know what it's like in Italy and Mexico, but here in New Jersey, it's supposed to get down to around 0 today.
New York too.
So it is cold January. Thank you again. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.